Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. So got some comments that I wasn't going to sink some carbon into this plastic toy, but look at it now. So amazingly enough, RC Mart shipped super quick. Got our spare set of CVDs, got our rear aluminum diff insert. As you can see, we got this fantastic carbon chassis now. Went through, re-Loctited, switched out all the hardware for stainless metric hardware. Got that in there, switched all of our electronics over. Got those in, everything else has been re-Loctited to make sure nothing comes out. So, add a few things I did. I was going to adjust the rear shock tower to get a little bit more droop, but I went back to the middle setting because the low setting was just too much. So I am leaving it where I had it and leaving it on the middle setting. So other than that, we are good to go with the Tamiya. And amazingly enough, the stuff came sooner than expected. So that only means one thing. We might have to take this to Moore and see what lap times a carbon chassis makes, and if it makes a difference at all. So did switch out, like I said, the towers, everything, kind of the rear brace / mount. And then obviously the chassis, everything went smooth. Everything fit great, even with like our X-Speed hubs and everything else with the chassis. Everything fit like a glove. So all I got to do, and I have a chassis protector. I didn't do it because I wanted to leave it off for the video, but I will put a chassis protector back on this. So I picked a number of those up as well, and I think we're good to go. So our TRF shocks are good to go. We might make a slight dampening change. We'll see. I may go up just slightly, but we'll see what weight savings this offers and what we can do to perhaps get our Astute to perform a little bit better. But the Astute looking tough with all that carbon now. Looks like an actual race car. And we'll see if it can turn some race car lap times. That's for sure. So anyway, you'll see the RC10T in the background there. The one thing I will let you know is if you do the upper octalock conversion, and I don't know if it's the same way in it's got to be the same way on the RC10s. They all take the same thing. The RPM gear cover does work on that and doesn't interfere with the octalock. The stock gear cover will not. The shaft hits the end of that. And so our RC10T is about ready. Servos come tomorrow for the RC10T and the Losi Double XT. So now that, if you saw our video yesterday, we got all the parts figured out. That thing is all back together. It's sitting pretty on the shelf. So that thing is almost ready to go. So need a motor and a speedo. Well, the speedo's coming. So I ordered 2 speedos for that in the 10T. The servos come tomorrow. The ESCs, I think, come on Saturday. So I hope they'll be delivered first thing Saturday morning. And I got time to get them in there, wire them up. I got 200 millimeter sensor wires for both. So those are good to go. I have a receiver for the RC10T. I do not have a receiver for the Double XT, but Moore stocks FlySky, so they have a receiver. So if all I got to do is get there, bind it to my radio, that will be pretty easy. And then transponders. I took the transponder that I had and this because it's a long wire transponder. And since I'm putting my ESC or my receiver in the back on the RC10T with a transverse battery mount, I'm going to try to get I'm going to run the cord all the way up and put the transponder near the steering servo and just move that forward, center line everything else. So that's going in the RC10T. And then I'll pick up like a shorty one for this as well as the Double XT as well. So Moore was out of transponders last week, so I will hope they have one. If not, I'll have to pull one out of somewhere else. I mean, we'll see. I don't know if I'll get both the RC10T and the Double XT finished out. Like I said, I'm kind of more focused on getting the 10T and being able to run that, but it would be nice to run my double XT and see how that stacks up against Nick's, and if it is the same or not, or if Nick got the better version of the double XT CR out of everything. So, hopefully Nick should have had his truck today, or he might be getting it tomorrow, but that should be in his hands. And I got to go through my parts, and I got a couple more to send him. But with this coming, I was going to do it tonight, and then this came early because I didn't think it was coming till at least tomorrow or Saturday. And lo and behold, it showed up today. So I have to appease the Tamiya folks and make sure to get some content out on our Astute. But yeah, looking good. So we will leave it like that, throw in a transponder, and we may take it this weekend. I don't know. I know I'm going to have people screaming for the Tamiya because on the More RC page, I do talk a lot of smack with the Astute, telling how everyone I'm going to lay a beat down like a prison shower. And there is actually, I think the other thing that's unique to More is they got a big outdoor track, and Turf Wars is the 23rd, and I am debating taking this to Turf Wars and running the Astute on carpet. It does have a gear diff-ish, and for people that don't know, and I think I answered in a question, Tamiya gives you, they call it anti-wear grease, and it's in a small tube, right? And it's really not enough to, the diff rotates pretty free. So I have another hobby, which not to be named here on YouTube, but yeah. So, and up in the upper corner there, I usually love to grease my AK. And I don't go with Niet, rifle is fine. So I use SuperTech, just high temp bearing grease, multi-duty, and that is what I packed my diff with. And I also pack my AKs with that because AKs love this shit. So, and honestly, it gets it to act. It gets that gear diff really close to our one rotation ball diffs. So, I did pull that out, and I did pack some in there last night or tonight because it was getting a little light in there because there is no seal on that, so it will kind of come out. But this is heavy duty, so there wasn't actually a whole lot. But after everything broke in and wore in, I had a little bit more in there, so we're at where we want it to be at. Man, that feels good. So we may see about running this at Turf Wars. I don't know. I don't really have any other car that could run Turf Wars because they all have ball diffs. And this is the only two-wheel drive that has a gear diff, basically. And I know it's popular over in Europe to run these on carpet. And we have a big carpet track, 21.5. It's all set up, ready to go. Make a little right height change. I don't really think I can put a sway bar on this thing, but who knows? I may just go out there, have fun, see what it is. It's 21.5. Jesus Christ. So that is the update on the Astute TRF and this thing out with our fancy shocks and everything, and now our carbon parts and all that. I don't know what else I could do to this. This is about as clapped out as you can get a plastic fantastic Tamiya. But I like it, and I know I think some people talked about maybe getting the gearbox warping just due to the heat of the motor and stuff, and I don't know. 21.5, we don't build up enough heat in this thing that I think that's going to be an issue, but I think that would be the only thing that might be suspect on this is the transmission, but amazingly enough, it's held up great. Slipper's fine. Gearing's been fine. I'm going to figure out how to run a 48 pitch on there instead of the proprietary Tamiya almost 48 pitch, but I don't know quite what it is. And and went through everything. Everything's good, still nice and tight, and so Tamiya not too bad. So we may I don't know. We'll run it another time here and see how we do with the carbon, but it's it still has a little flex, but it's definitely not as much flex as what we had before. So it'll be interesting to see if the stiffer chassis performs. I mean, the fan graphite is kind of the same way. A single, when it was a single deck, it was great. And then we put a top deck on it and got to run that. But wanted to give an update on the Astute. RC10T is almost finished. Servos come tomorrow. RC10T is a priority. I will try to finish the double XT, and we will maybe try to take a number of cars. And like I said, the vintage class, I don't know if they will just be two-wheel drive. I don't know if they'll have enough trucks to run trucks. I kind of doubt it. But if they're running 13.5 truck, I will run my trucks against the other trucks all day, just like we did last weekend with Nick's double XT. Larry and I came with our double XTs, and yeah, we did a little ass kicking. I mean, we didn't finish last. And Larry actually, I think, finished third in the main, and I finished sixth. Like I said, I would have been fifth if I had 3 more seconds in me. But anyway, that's the update. I'll have an update probably tomorrow when we get the RC10T finished. The double XT, we'll be close. I think everything else is done. I'm getting parts together for Sam to rebuild the diff in his B3. And I think we're good to go. So a little update right before the weekend here. We'll finish out Friday strong, hopefully get some stuff together. And we will head out on Saturday for Vintage Weekend, and hopefully Moore's aware their camera doesn't work, so hopefully they're gonna get that rectified in time so we can get some coverage of laps and people can actually see what's going on rather than just looking at the print-off race report. So again, like, comment, subscribe down below. We'll see you on the next one.